Hello, everyone. It's time for another episode of Drop Frames. It's been too long. A recording's been started. Did you know that?
So I've heard somewhere.
The only way that we could actually fix that is if I swapped, but then I'd be looking up here instead of down here. So that's the only difference. I don't know. We could do it. It'd be a very simple swap. I just have
Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of fond of it, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's a little gimmick. It's a little thing for the show.
Dan went to the trouble of putting up a green screen. You didn't even use it.
Oh, I didn't key him out. No. We'll key
What
him
the
out now.
shit?
It takes a set. Look, XSplit is such a great tool. Oh, look who's green screen.
Wow, perfect.
There you go.
Oh, thank God. I was about to storm off and say I can't work under these conditions. So thank you.
XSplit's the great. Now, if I was in OBS, I'd have to fucking blend it and do like the similarity of whatever those. Fucking XSplit, you just hit a button, it's done. Simple.
Yeah, those freaking sliders in OBS are a pain.
Yeah, I can actually. Have you ever had two people on camera and tried to chroma key something in OBS? I don't think that's possible. At least not with me.
It's very hard.
Yeah, every time I've done it, like I end up super fucking purple. It's because I'm so pale. The other person's like actually medium tan and whatever. Anyways, who fucking cares about all that? It's been 2 weeks since we've had a show. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened, especially today. We had the big PS4. Would you call it a conference and would you call it big? I don't know. There's a lot of hype leading into it.
An announcement show.
An announcement show. Yeah.
A branding announcement, really, because everyone knew it as the Neo, and now it's the official PlayStation Pro. And
Its name is Neo.
Yeah, and we got you got the price point, $400, which is considerably a lot lower than I was thinking.
Well, for a middle system, they really couldn't go much higher than that, considering like everyone's already thinking about the PS5 or whatever they're going to call that.
Yeah.
They really couldn't afford to charge too much for this one.
One of the things too, and we'll walk through everything that happened, but one of the things too is when they were going down the specs of saying like it's got a better GPU, it's got more whatever it was, they never gave specifics. And if I think back to E3, Microsoft gave specific numbers for all that stuff, right? For the Scorpio.
Some numbers, yes.
So I wonder if the reason they didn't give those numbers is because it's less than the Scorpio.
Oh,
because obviously those you're going to immediately compare PS4 Pro to the Scorpio right off because they're kind of doing the same thing. They're both pushing 4K or trying to sell more TVs, and that's the big thing that these consoles are there for.
Well, with a name like Scorpio, I'm surprised they didn't stick with Neo because Scorpio is way cooler.
Well, it's called Project Scorpio, so they'll probably change that at the end because they never like announced a timetable for any. I think at least it's been too long since E3. It was back in June, so
yeah, they should keep Scorpio though. Like PlayStation should have kept Neo. I'm serious.
I don't like the the Pro name is just like why would you go with PS4 Pro?
Because it speaks to our elitist nature.
Do you think
we want like the Pro? It's like you got the shit version. I'm Pro.
Like. Do you think they get that? Someone just linked the PS4 specs. We'll show these on stream in just a second. But is that like they call the Apple iPad Pro, right? So maybe that's why they went with that is because like there's the iPad Pro or the Apple's already kind of gone down that I guess nomenclature already with all of its product lineup. So maybe people know that it's. I don't know.
Well, Pro for decades and decades has meant like the elite version, the best version of a versioned thing.
Right.
So it's honestly the nomenclature is pretty standard for this kind of thing. I'm surprised they weren't a bit more creative with it.
Yeah.
But also I don't know if you have it handy. I think Zeke has it. That Twitter or that tweet from Xbox during the show.
Yeah, I could pull it up.
Oh man, that
was right after it went offline, which was this tweet, which is pretty. Good on the social media manager over at Xbox.
That's a good one.
Yeah. especially this, which apparently, although the people that have confirmed this that I saw are not apparently that reputable, unless there's been other people that have confirmed it. Apparently the PS4 Pro cannot play 4K Blu-rays. And that's kind of a lot of people are freaking out about that right now. That's actually been the biggest pull away from all of this. That's the biggest talking point that everyone's going crazy about is that it can't play 4K Blu-rays.
Well, I remember when the PS3 came out, like it was like, oh, it's another console. It's gonna be better graphics. Oh, but it fucking does Blu-rays.
Yeah, it was a Blu-ray player. It was
Yep.
the best Blu-ray player on
It
the
was
market.
the cheapest. It was
Yeah.
literally the cheapest Blu-ray player for a long time. I remember
Yeah.
people buying PS3s as Blu-ray players, and they're like, "No, I don't play video games." It's like, what the hell? Oh man.
Yeah.
Also, dude, it's crazy that it doesn't play 4K Blu-ray, yet they're really pushing like the whole, oh, you need a 4K TV to really experience
Well,
this.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's
you have all that
Sony.
money, and I don't know. It's
Well, that's the other thing too that I think a lot of people maybe didn't consider. At least I didn't, because I saw 400. I was like, oh, that's super cheap. But to get any of the quote benefits that you're getting when you buy this console, you need to fucking have a TV that does 4K, which is bare minimum at least $1,000. At most 7,000 to 10,000.
yeah, and the bigger you get, the ratio just gets crazy.
Yeah, and especially if you go, OLED HDR, those get fucking like I was tossing around links to Co earlier. Those get fucking stupid expensive. Then
Well,
if
When you showed me like 5K or something.
yeah,
Quick
6K.
question.
What's up?
Which do all three of you guys have 4Ks?
I don't
already?
have a 4K TV.
No, I have a 1080p one.
Okay, me too. All right.
Oh, we do have a 4K,
We
but
just got a new TV.
it's like it's not like a huge one. It's like a 48-inch or something.
Yeah,
It's pretty
the reason that I've never made the jump is because the content's just not there. I mean, they said that Netflix will have 600 hours, and that's like supposed to be a lot. Like YouTube has some 4K content, but there just hasn't been any. And the other thing too with 4K content, which I was tweeting about and was talking about with Co, is like streamers are gonna have to get that fucking MageWall card that costs $800 and able to stream a PS4 Pro, unless it somehow can play at 4K but spit out 1080p for a capture.
Well, and to be fair, and this is where it's going to get a little bit weird. You can downscale the PS4 versions and Xbox. You can set it to 460 and all that. So I'm wondering if they'll allow a downscale option for that too. But I got to say, like, this is the start when traditional capture cards are going to start having trouble for streamers.
But
and it is the kind of thing where you're not going to be able to experience your game in 4K and stream it without one of these
the
powerhouse
one thing that I hope that does, as someone who's been on 1440p for the longest time and had to use that MageWall card, is I hope this pushes the Avermedias, the Elgatos, all of those capture card companies into the 4K world so that they can actually start putting out 4K capture units, because then it just makes streaming a whole lot of fucking easier, especially if you go 2K, not 4K. Hopefully they get 60 FPS in there, and hopefully they start putting out better cards, because there's only one card that does that right now, to my knowledge, unless you go like with a data path card for like $2,000, which I think like I know of one or two streamers that actually use that stuff. It just doesn't exist. They just don't.
Well,
exist.
and I think it's more for people who like, because I don't really pay a whole bunch of attention to my non-live stream, I would say. Like, so I like to, I mean, I have to gear my stuff around people who can watch only 720.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
that-
not going to make much of a difference for me if people at home can't watch it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that on average, only about 40 to 50% of your audience watches on source. Everyone
So-
else watches lower.
JP, fix Dan's screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll get that.
Hurry up, quick, lickety split. It's easy.
It is. You just don't fucking remember. We're good. Also, they put up, this is the Horizon Zero Dawn gameplay trailer that they showed in 4K on YouTube. You can actually play it in 4K 60. This looks so much better than the stream. And that, like, I can't even imagine. If you've never seen a 4K OLED TV, because that stream can't convey that to you, go to a Best Buy. I know it's fucking Best Buy. You're not going to buy anything there. Just go to a Best Buy and look at the fucking TV, because I guarantee you're going to notice the difference the second you fucking
It's
see
pretty
it.
sizable.
It is a sizable
we just
difference.
got our TV a couple months ago, and when we went in and looked at the TVs, like there were two right next to each other actually to show off the 4K. And I normally am not very impressed by that kind of stuff, but it was very noticeable.
Yeah.
For those, I see chat kind of talking about this. Yes, there were frame drops.
Yes.
In the professional Horizon demo, and it's not. I don't think it's running at 60. Look right there, right. You can
Well,
see it.
that's
Yeah.
buffer.
Is
That's
that the
YouTube
buffering?
buffer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, during the show though, they played the Horizon, this thing right here, multiple times, and it was lagging in the same parts. There were people that were looking to see if it was like if it was the game or just Twitch. But no, there's no question it was having some issues.
Yeah. The other thing here, the PS4 Pro was sporting like, yeah, you can stream 4K quality to the PS4. If I have I have 300 down, and it's struggling with this right now to keep it up from YouTube. So like, that might say something right there.
That it didn't do. Yeah.
Do what? Do what?
That it was not doing. It wasn't nearly that bad.
Yeah.
But it was definitely hitching. Yeah.
So it fucking looks great though. Even at 1440p, which is what I'm watching. Do they have a 1440p option at 2K? Let's see. Yeah, they do. They have. So this is like native on my monitor currently, but it's gonna fucking take forever to buffer. But that's the hardest thing about this conference, and that's why you didn't see a lot of VR stuff, and you haven't seen a lot of VR stuff in conferences, is because like, how do you fucking show that off? You can't show a VR game on a fucking like 2D stream, and you can't show a 4K game on a 2D stream at 1080p 60 at like, I think the bitrate was like 5,000 on that stream.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Most 4K videos are like in the 20K or 20,000 bitrate range, from what I understand. So I don't know. It was a hard thing for them to do, and I hope that people aren't just railing them for that. I'm sure they are though, because it's the internet. But at the same time,
you've seen those TV commercials that have come out in the last, I don't know, 10 years, where every time they like upgrade the graphics on a television, they're like, well, you're watching on a shit TV, so we're just gonna have to take our word for it that this shit is the shit and your shit is shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, what did they do back in the day when it was like, come watch our games at 1080p? Because not everyone had televisions back there, but I guess people had monitors at 1080p, right? I'm trying to think how they handled that messaging back then.
It was pushed a little bit, but not. I mean, it seems like since 1080, there's been more of a push behind the visual. Now that it's like starting to kind of ramp up and be more competitive. I mean, when 1080 was around, there wasn't a lot of that stuff. Like it seems not nearly as much as there is with 4K, where it's like, look at 4K, it's amazing, look, it's awesome. I don't remember hearing a lot of that stuff for 1080p. Like they were like, yeah, it's a little bit better, but it's not like life changing like they say 4K is and stuff. So I don't know.
It's true. That's true. The other thing too, they finally came out and said officially that the PS4 Slim is a thing, because I got leaked like a week and a half ago. I think we were talking about it in the last show 2 weeks ago, where it leaked in somewhere in Europe, and like Eurogamer went over to this guy's house that he bought it off of eBay and all this shit. What do you guys think of the actual look of it? I'm not the biggest fan. This is an actual look of it right here. I'll show it. Oh fuck!
When they dropped the box at the end and it showed both consoles, I was like, they're not that great looking.
I don't like the like curve on it.
Picture.
It's not sexy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a box with lines in it. Like they didn't try to do anything cool with the case. They were just like, let's just put this in a box, and okay, it's in a box. Cool. Seal it up.
Yeah.
What's the cheapest case we can get?
I'm not a fan, especially when you compare it to, the Xbox Slim or whatever the fuck. I think Xbox Slim, right? Xbox One S, sorry.
Yeah.
I fucking love that design. I think it looks great compared to the original Xbox.
Much more aesthetic.
Yeah.
Much more aesthetically pleasing, for sure.
For sure, 100%. Yeah.
Well, have you noticed we go through these phases, like as a society?
What's that?
Where it's like, black is way cooler, and they were like, nah, let's go to the white. White's way cooler now.
Right.
It's like the thing with like iPhones. It's like iPhones are black, and then they're like, we want the white iPhone.
The coolest is always whatever wasn't last done.
Exactly.
So it just leapfrogs.
or whatever you don't see, right? Like I remember the first couple of generations of iPhone were only in, was it only in white or only in black? And then they came out with like the new colors, and everyone fucking lost their mind. And then today they came out with new colors for the iPhone again, like jet black or matte black or some shit, and everyone was like, oh, it's a fucking new color, I can't fucking wait to get this. So yeah.
And see, what's going to happen is Nintendo's next console is going to be that gray that turns yellow over time, and they're going to be like, yeah, back to basics.
We keep it old school over here.
That'd be awesome.
Jesus.
Give it like 3 to 5 years, it'll get that nice little deep yellow color to it. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all with your old NESs, you know what I mean.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. They look like teeth that weren't brushed. So can we I actually felt the need to write this down because it struck me so funny.
Let's do it.
That, Mark Cerny, he's the lead system architect. They had him up there a few times. He's wearing the flannel.
Yeah.
And he had the cool version of a bowl cut.
Yeah. Legendary game dev, kind of a boring speaker.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you watch him and it's like he's a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, he's very passive.
That's his like attitude. He's like, oh man, okay. So we're gonna have
I think that's
4K and it's gonna be on the Sony. and it's going to be really great for everybody.
I think that's why they put him up there, though, because it's such a stark contrast to like the suit being like, this is our console. I'm really good at talking because I've had hours of media training. All my voice inflections are perfect. PS4 Neo available now. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you.
Finger paint with him.
See, I got those vibes too, but I feel he's like that with a dark secret.
Yeah.
I feel he's got like either like literal skeletons in the closet.
Way too nice.
Cerny's dark secret is that he made Knack.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a big skeleton to have in your
it's
closet.
a fucking giant skeleton. I mean, it's a rocky skeleton. Knack didn't even have a skeletal structure in his. Anyways.
No, he's the same thing with Bob Ross. Like, I bet he gets off stage and he's like, that sound was fucking garbage. I'm gonna fucking head off. Who's responsible for the audio in this fucking place?
The best part is he probably says that, but in Bob Ross voice. So who am I gonna have to fucking kill about here? Hey Frank, could you come here for a second? I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah. I also like when
right now.
I'm gonna turn your ass titanium white.
If we're talking about conference fuck ups, I love when they cut to the Activision guy and you just heard, hey, his mic's off.
Yeah. Or the one guy clapping. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Woo! And everyone else is
yeah, I'm sure all the jaded game journalists were just like, would you shut the fuck up? And just like gave him the stink eye.
One guy came in, he was just plastered and just threw
Woo! I love Sony. You're the best.
4K!
He was at the mixer afterwards. Or he was the bartender there mixing it up. The one there were a couple of lines that I figured people would rip into a little bit more, but one of them, I think it was when Andrew Howell said something along the lines of that the PS4 is already pushing the limits of 1080p, and there's like 3 first-party titles that run at 1080p 60. Like none of their first-party titles run at like max 1080p, which is it felt a little odd that they went with that line, but maybe that's just like the PC fucking snob in me that picked up on that right away.
I was really hoping for 60 frames versus 4K because,
dude,
that's way more important to me than 4K.
Yeah,
preach, and it does. This is what me and JP were talking about during the show. It doesn't matter how good your game looks if it's not running smoothly. Period. I literally couldn't. I would rather have half graphics at 60 frames per second than ever have beautiful graphics between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
Every single time. And it's like these game companies just don't understand that. Most of the people I talk to feel that way too. Like, it's very rare that you find someone that's like, well, if it runs at 20 frames, as long as it's really pretty. Do you guys know anyone like that?
Well, it's the difference between going to a museum and going to a fucking movie. I go to a museum to see beautiful still frames of things, like lots of detail and motion and passion. And then I go to movies because they run smoothly and they move. Movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Lena got that one, huh?
I got you. I understand it. I'm trying to find that like little montage that they showed at the end, but I don't know if that's up on is it on? They don't even link their YouTube on their fucking PlayStation Twitter account. So this shit's annoying to find. Because I do want to show some of the images or videos that they showed, specifically the one where they did Spider-Man as well as Mass Effect, because that was the first time we've ever looked at Mass Effect.
That was like the highlight of the show for me.
Let's talk about it. I don't think it's up actually.
I was so worried they were going to do another one of those Mass Effects. We'll show you next year. And then just walk off stage.
I just saw Mass Effect and they got their fingers.
Here it is.
It's just a guy like, fuck.
Dude, the actual YouTube video is insane looking at 4K instead of like a fucking 1080p low bitrate stream. I gotta say, gorgeous.
Man, with that little, I gotta say it, and I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm sorry if it offends anybody, but the first taste I got was them like jumping from like platform to platform with these little things. I was like, dude, that's Destiny, man.
Right here, the jetpacks.
That jumping from platform to platform, that's a puzzle thing in Destiny.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I want to see something else now. Really,
when he did this, I immediately had No Man's. Yeah,
I like that.
I had No Man's Sky vibes the second he did that.
But what was cool is, I don't know if you noticed, and I hope it does this for all the scanning, but the dude like made a comment about what he had scanned, and then someone replied.
Yeah.
Like he scanned the plant, and he's like, how are plants down here with no sun and food? And like, the chicks.
That thing right there bothered the fuck out of me. Why is there an arrow show? Like I know this is a tech demo.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we can remove that, but why the fuck is there an arrow showing that you can get up on this platform?
I think it was an interactable indicator. So it was just
probably is, yeah.
Yeah. So, like if you look when they walk up to the device up here, you can use a little icon pops up over that too. So I'm guessing Mass Effect did that a few times. So
now the other thing too, I don't know if it's the capture here, but there's a fucking if anyone else is watching this video, is there a like distinguishable line of tear right here in this capture? Or is that my fucking monitor?
I don't see it here.
Okay. It was only going for a couple seconds. Now it's stopped. No, it's kind of there. It might just be like a filter, though, that they used, or an effect that they used. I don't know. I'm being nitpicky.
When you hear something, you're like, wait, listen. Don't you hear that? No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
The voices, do you hear them?
Yeah, it's there on the video. Yeah,
they see it. They say they see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, so it looks cool.
Yeah, it was, and also like I think this is the kind of trailer that there's probably like serious ME fans breaking down right now. Like, what is that? What does that mean? Look at this game mechanic stuff like that. It was a really cool trailer. Didn't show that much, and I think it was specifically designed just to show off graphics. You can tell there's no UI. He doesn't do anything but run and jump and interact. So, but I gotta say, like, as a Mass Effect fan, there's a lot of things in this get me excited. I mean, it looks pretty damn cool. All the races are there, but none of the normal characters we know. They said the main character's name at one point.
Yeah, it started with an R, right? Not.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah,
actually.
I forgot what it was. Someone in chat will confirm pretty soon.
I'm sure someone in chat will remember.
And a lot of people were picking up on voices. Nolan North, I think, was the main character, is what people are saying.
Another Asari, right there.
Man, I'm glad that guy's getting work. He certainly needs it.
Yeah.
Also, they mentioned that's a vault that they bring up a map. There's apparently vaults on a lot of other planets. They don't really talk about what they are though.
Ryder, that's what it was. Yeah.
Ryder. There it is.
It looks all right though.
Yeah.
And then they someone tweeted, I think it was the official Mass Effect Twitter, tweeted to someone saying that they're gonna have full details on N7 Day, which is November 7th, including a full story trailer, kind of bringing people or bringing everyone into the Mass Effect Andromeda world. So
do we have a release date yet for that? It got bumped back out of this year, didn't it?
Yeah, coming early 2017 to PC, PlayStation 4, which is I kind of like those early releases in the years, like the February, March releases. It seems to be like a good time for games like this to come out because it's not as crowded. Like I can actually sit down and enjoy a game for more than a week before I have to fucking go on to the next release, you know?
Yeah.
Not only that, we already have a slew of great games coming out at the end of this year. The more we can push to next year to keep that great game chains going.
Did you guys know that next Recore is out next week, by the way? Did you know that comes out next week?
No.
Yeah.
They haven't really been advertising it too much.
Which,
it's only $40.
It's a little concerning.
Is that console exclusive?
Yeah.
It's Xbox One. I'm not sure if it's on Windows 10 or not.
I don't know
They've
if it
been
is
doing that a
either.
lot.
Yeah. For some reason, I looked at Amazon the other day of like orders that are currently open or whatever. I pre-ordered the collector's edition of that, so I'm just gonna leave it pre-ordered and see what it looks like next week when I get it. Even though I won't have any time next week at all to play that, I'll still hopefully check it out, and I hope it's good because new IPs are always something that is lacking right now, and hopefully they knock it out of the park with that. But with how quiet they're being about it, I don't know, man. That's usually really yeah.
I'm worried it's gonna be another knack.
Let me see if I can find it on the store.
About it.
Yeah. Oh, it is on Windows 10. So there you go.
Oh, here it is. Recore pre-order. You can get it right off the Windows 10 store. Yeah. That's good though. I mean, I'd much rather play it on PC. So that's awesome.
Yeah. There you go.
Hopefully the release dates are going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But apart from that, like, not the price point, $400 for the PS4 Pro, the PS. Are they calling it the PS4 Slim or is it just the new PS4? What was the official brand for that?
PS4 Slim, I believe.
PS4 Slim? Is that what they went with?
9/13 at 12 a.m. for Recore.
PS4 Slim will cost $299 and be out September 15th.
Okay. Yeah. So that's next Thursday, I think, is when that comes out. For $299. Yeah. I can't get past that design, man. That fucking, it just looks gross. I don't like. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of, but I can't. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Super Famicom re-release that Nintendo did ages ago with that fucking curved border bullshit. I just don't think it looks good. But maybe I have stabbed myself on the corner of a PS4 a couple times when I'm passing by it because it sits on the edge of my desk. So maybe it's better that they fucking put curved things. I don't know.
They saw you do that and they're like, we're changing the design.
Yeah. itmeJP stabbed himself. He stabbed himself. Oh shit. Guys, my wow. I just had 2 missions complete, so I'm gonna do these on my phone real quick.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a bit as well.
While you're doing that, by the way, kind of a cool note. Recore is only $40.
That's what Dan was just saying, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was buying it while you said that. I'm sorry.
He very briefly touched on it, but yeah, I wonder if that's good. I don't know.
That could be really bad. You know, when the game companies reduce the price, there's something missing. It's gonna be like a 3-hour game.
When was the first time we saw Recore? Like a
E3 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, not this year, but last year.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see next week when it comes out. Because
that'll be fun, and that's a good time for it to come out. I don't think there's too many other big games coming out in the next week.
Not
or two.
yeah.
Pretty empty this month.
End of September and beginning of October is when it starts to go fucking crazy. So we still got a couple weeks for that, but yeah, I don't know. I was expecting a lot more. There were rumors that Rockstar was going to show up to this thing and that they were going to show some new Rockstar game, and that didn't happen. There are a bunch of rumors going around right now that Red Dead Redemption is getting an HD re-release. I thought that was going to be shown, and apparently it's not. I would almost be a little bit upset if they did a Red Dead Redemption HD re-release, because everyone just played through that on PC like a month ago on Twitch when it was a complete dry spell. And so I guess it wouldn't get that much buzz around it, at least on Twitch. But anything else for you guys that you took away from the PS4 meeting, or the PlayStation meeting, rather?
Okay, this is one thing, and call me whatever you want, a fucking idiot, or don't have my finger on the pulse, but the fuck is HDR?
HDR, yeah.
So much about this.
HDR is something that's been out on the Xbox One since it came out, I think, and PCs have had it for a long time.
No. It was not on the Xbox One, but it's on the Xbox One S now.
Thank you.
I think. Yes, I think that's what it is. I think.
Okay, so that's for Microsoft. That was for the Xbox One S?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great. But HDR is basically like it's high dynamic range, and it's like vibrancy. It's giving access to more colors for the people to work with, so they can make things stand out more. They can make things pop more. It does make a difference, but I mean, it's kind of weird because it's not really a new technology. It's like new to console, you know?
Right.
So,
right.
I remember turning on HDR on Oblivion 8 years ago. So
yeah. It's been in the PC world for a while.
Okay, so this is not a new thing that I just now been missing. It's something that's been around for a while that they're deciding to bring back up again.
Yeah,
well, it's
HDR's been out for PCs for a good while.
It's never been on consoles, so this is kind of this is the first wave of consoles that it's been a part of. So it does help. It'll help those first party games and the exclusive games on the consoles look better, without a doubt. I think a good example too, although it's like a fucking game that no one played and everyone forgot existed and it's so old, the fact that they brought up Lights, the Infamous expansion that came out, that's a good way of showing that off with all the neon and all that stuff. I would love to see that on a 4K OLED screen in front of me rather than on a 1080p stream, because then you can actually tell the difference of what it looks like. But like I was saying at the beginning, it's so hard to show any of that stuff off and really impress people. And it's also hard to sell a console no matter what the price is when you have to buy $1,000+ TV to start off with, because the only people that are going to get any benefit out of the PS4 Pro are people with 4K TVs, from my understanding. It's not going to help improve performance for the 1080p version of games, from my understanding. It's not going to give all those games 60 FPS. That would be cool if it was. That was the hope, I think, for people, especially Dan. That was something that you were tweeting multiple times, right?
Yeah, they weren't clear what happens if you set your resolution down to 1080p. Where does all that extra power go? Does it go to help the game run better, or does it just go to waste? Like,
yeah, and I feel like if it did help the game run better, that would be something you would fucking touch on. Unless they're really wanting to push 4K Sony 4K TVs. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't have that as a gigantic bullet point.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but they'll probably not share too much more. Then I guess the quote nice thing is that it's out in 2 months. We'll get it November, was it 10th, 15th? September 15th for the Slim, November 10th, I think, for the Neo. Or the I got to stop calling it the Neo. The Pro.
Yeah. And Microsoft's new console doesn't even come out until the end of next year. So they're launching this way ahead of them.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. And then VR hits in October. Mm-hmm. I figured you were going to have a pack-in, too. They didn't announce a pack-in with PlayStation VR at all.
Oh, you can pre-order the Pro on Amazon now.
Oh, really? It's up?
Ooh. Yeah. Right now, it's $399 Sony PlayStation 4 Pro with
the 1 terabyte. Yep. Pre-order with 1 click. Wait,
but
it says get it Friday, December 29th. Is that what it says for you, Co?
Hold on. I'm already going through it. Friday, December 20. Yep. This item will be released on December 29th, 2017.
That's the wrong date. That'll be
Amazon's always placeholder date. If they say that.
That's right. It'll get updated. Yeah. You don't have 1 click. Co, you don't have 1 click ordering on Amazon?
I don't think so.
Maybe. Oh my God, you got to get that set up.
It's probably good that I don't. Let's go with that.
No,
because the time between actually clicking buy and buyer's remorse is sometimes less than it takes to get through for me.
Now, imagine if it wasn't there. Imagine how much random shit would show up to your house, Co. Like,
I'll tell you what's dangerous. The fact that you can order through Alexa. That's dangerous.
Yes.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Like, I'm not actually going to say it because I'll trigger it. But you can be like, blah, 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 order blah, blah off Amazon. And it's just like, cool.
Yeah. I used that the other day.
That's it. It's just
I used that the other day. I was in the shower and I ran out of like soap, body soap, and I said, Alexa, order some body soap. And they said, all right, it's on the way. And I was like, that was fucking cool. I have no idea what body soap I'm getting, but, but it's coming.
I was like,
Alexa, no.
Does it judge you?
Soap? You just ordered me soap. No. Alexa can't.
There you go. There you go. That's great. That's great. Alexa, pre-order a Sony PlayStation 4
You shut your
Pro.
damn mouth. No. Can you turn that off?
Just hit the little microphone button on the top so it's red.
Can you hit that microphone button?
No.
No, do not order that. No.
Find me tentacle porn. Alexa,
God damn it.
find me hentai. Lots of hentai.
I love Alexa.
She's still confused. I muted her and she's just like, where did you go?
Yeah. I love.
Where did you go?
Have you been using your Alexa a lot, Co? I use it all the time.
Dude, I almost every morning I come in, I got my office lights hooked up so I can be like, Alexa, no, I'm not going to do it. But I can turn my lights on.
Oh, did you get, so do you have Hughes attached to it? What do you have attached to it?
I have, what are they called? I have the little socket plugs.
Oh, shit.
Weebos.
Yeah, are those good? You like
they're
them?
awesome. Yeah, and in the new house, I'm actually getting I'm going to be installing the switches. So you can like do like the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for it. We're doing like the whole home automation thing.
That's what I want to do.
I'm going to do that and then find out all the negatives about hacking and stuff. Thankfully, they fixed most of them, but we'll see how that goes.
Having like a smart home is kind of scary because people can get on the.
There's no protection right now.
People can get on the network and just fuck with your shit.
And also, you can connect to an Alexa remotely and reset it. So it's like anyone could just
you can on the Alexa
outside your house. Reset your Alexa and then have access to everything that's attached to it because it doesn't erase the settings, you can still see what's connected to it after a reset.
Right.
So it's
there's a lot of security issues with it for sure, but it's really fucking cool to use. I love walking into the bathroom and just being like, Alexa, play Pandora, then fucking music just begins.
Oh, dude, my favorite thing is with the little app you can pick what news sites you want.
Right.
So you can just walk and be like, Alexa, play news. And it's like, here's your NPR hourly wrap up. And then for me, it's like, here's your BBC, hourly wrap up. Here's the weather for your area. Have a great day. And I just do that every time I walk into the room. I'm like, play the news.
Yep. Awesome. I like that stuff. It's completely pointless though. Don't buy one unless you just
don't buy one, period. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it really. But it's fun to mess around with, regardless. Okay, I just pre-ordered I got my PlayStation 4 Pro pre-ordered, but that's not because it's an exciting console. It's because it's part of the job. That's why I pre-ordered it. I need to state that.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I like the idea that I might get some more frames out of existing titles. Like, just maybe. I know that's probably not going to happen.
What if I told you that the Xbox One S gives you about a 7% performance increase, Co? Is that enough performance increase to buy?
Single digit?
Yeah. It's not meant to give you a shit ton of performance increase, but it does. And this is in like first party titles like Forza. I think it was like a 7% increase in performance.
It seems really low.
They didn't mean for it to be like a huge. They didn't even talk about that on the conferences, but it gives like a very slight performance boost. So
That's pretty cool.
there's that. Was there anything else that they talked about, Dan or Zeke, that you guys, or even Co, that they brought up that you guys want to mention? We talked about Andromeda. We talked about Spider-Man looked good graphically. That's all we saw was just kind of a cityscape. Looked good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game. I like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I hope we finally get like a good Spider-Man game. It's something that
these are the devs that made the PS2 one, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, quick question. Like, I just recently saw Civil War on the plane coming back.
Yeah.
And without spoiling, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it, like, totally different take on the Spider-Man I'm used to. And I'm wondering, like, is that what the new Spider-Man game is going to be?
Yes.
Like that Spider-Man?
Yes. Because Marvel's actually pretty involved, from what I have read and I think heard, is pretty involved in that. So yeah,
I gotta admit, I was pleasantly surprised by that character. When I first saw him, I was like, "This is gonna be rough." But then, like, when they started doing the fighting and stuff, I'm like, "This is actually kind of funny."
You tweeted that, and I tweeted back to you. You got to watch all those. Was that the first Marvel movie you've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Have you seen other ones? Okay, so you need
watched a single one.
There's a couple of like the Thor movie and the second Thor movie. A lot of people regard those as some of the worst. Iron Man 3 is one of the worst ones. But there's a lot of good movies. Like Ant-Man is actually. It sounds like
it's really good.
It sounds like it's going to be the worst one. It's good.
Favorite one.
It's
It
good.
was surprisingly good. Yeah.
The first Avengers movie is good. Iron Man 1 and 2 are pretty good. 1 being the best out of there.
I think me and Lane are just going to watch all of them. We just wrapped up the latest season of Elementary, so we ran out of things to watch.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to start. Now we're working through House.
Yeah, Deadpool's really good. Although it's.
I haven't seen Deadpool either.
That's part of the Fox Cinematics universe, but yeah, it's still pretty good. Yeah, there's still a lot of. I think you might be able to find those in 4K as well on the TV. Maybe on Netflix. Netflix has a lot of those movies as well that you can watch. But
that'd be cool.
And then you have like Doctor Strange coming out this year, which looks fucking crazy and all that stuff. So
weirdly enough, though, me and Lena did watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the series, the TV series.
First season's rough, man.
The second season gets a lot better, but it's kind of interesting because I was reading through I got multiple chronological lists linked to me, and it's really weird. Like you'll watch like 6 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then a movie, and then like 3 and then another movie, and then 3 and then another movie.
Well, because they tie into the show, like not like hugely, but the character will like pass by a TV, and the news reporter is saying like, in New York today, fucking aliens invaded, and that's like kind of what happens in the first Avengers movie.
He's not kidding. That's exactly what they do. Exactly.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And you see like footage of Iron Man fucking going after. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But all that stuff is cool. I like that it's all a part of the same universe. I like that there's synergy between all the media. But
it's pretty impressive how many lines they have overlap. Like that was pretty cool. Like there's at one point, I think the chronological thing, like 6 different entertainment mediums are overlapping at one, and they're all cogent and they all actually like reference each other in different ways. Anyways, that's pretty impressive.
That reminds me, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably like one of the best films in the MCU. You should definitely check that one out, Co. Because they got a second one coming out pretty soon.
I think me and Lana, we may just take the plunge, and I mean she hasn't seen any of them either, so we may just work right from Iron Man 1. Actually, I think we were told to start with the very first Captain America because that one takes place in like the 1940s or something.
So yeah, I think it's Hulk and then Captain America. Although the Hulk actor in that movie is not the actor, it's not Mark Ruffalo, but I think that's the start of it. There's an image out there that'll show you the entire chronological order, because then you have to watch like Jessica Jones and Daredevil season 2 and all that shit.
Talking about all this gets me so excited for December when South Park comes out that makes fun of all of this.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the entire like gag theme of South Park, which is going to be hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of South Park and gagging,
did you
transition?
Should we transition into PAX?
We can go to that later.
Well, I think we're pretty much done with the Sony stuff. Like, it was an hour long. There really wasn't that much to talk about besides the price point, besides what it's going to do. You couldn't really see what you were looking at, what they were promising and all that stuff. And that was the announcement. Like, that was that. A lot of people were actually upset that they didn't announce more, but it's like, what else do you want them to announce? It's not an E3.
It's not a new console either.
Yeah, it's not a new console.
I mean, yeah, it's not the next console. It's
right. You're right. You're right. So yeah, let's talk about PAX because I wasn't there and all three of you were in some capacity.
Yeah, eventually someone got there.
Yeah.
Start with that, please?
Yeah, let's start with that. Let's talk about the journey to PAX. While I was doing my fucking 30-hour stream of hell, you were jumping from airport to airport and then going home.
Here's the quick TLDR of the story. Thursday, I'm supposed to go RDU, Atlanta, Seattle. Everything's fine, looking good. Plane leaves an hour late from RDU. It's cool. I got a 2-hour layover. No problem. So we're in the air. I'm about to land. We're getting close. The little timer, you can see on the TV, it's like 10 minutes to landing. Or, 5 minutes to landing. And then it goes 10 minutes to landing. I was like, oh, that's weird. Must be a bug. 5 minutes to landing. 10 minutes to landing. Okay. So after like 20 minutes just in the air with no explanation, the pilot comes on and says, it's too windy to land at Atlanta. Just too windy. So he's like, we're going to try it one more time. One more time. This is not a TLDR. I know. I already know that. I've already escaped. Anyway, we have to circle around. They divert us to Huntsville, Alabama to refuel because we do not have enough fuel to keep flying.
How long did you circle?
Circle for 45 minutes.
Oh, that would have.
So at that point, I'm like, shit, I'm missing this flight. But hey, there's one going out at like 9 o'clock. Maybe I'll make that one, right? We're just going to refuel and go back. It'll take an hour, whatever. Takes 30 minutes to get to Huntsville. We land. We can't get off the plane because we don't actually dock. We're there for 3 hours.
Wow.
On the tarmac.
God.
At many points, not able to get up. Like seatbelt thing is on. They won't let us get up. 3 hours. It's so bad because every 15 minutes, the pilot's coming on the thing and saying, oh, yeah, we're just about ready to go. It's going to be just another minute or two. He does that like every 15 minutes for 3 hours. And then at about 2.5 hours is when we're like, he literally comes on, okay, we've gotten the clear to land. We're going to go ahead and head to the runway and take off. And halfway to the runway, well, we got notified the wind is back, so we're going to need to go ahead and go into holding pattern again. Just stop for another 30 minutes.
And this is the wind from the hurricane, right? So it's not just
this is the wind right in front of the hurricane. The hurricane's supposed to be there the next day. So we fly back to Atlanta and land. And I'm not even going to get into this ridiculous story that happens there. But end of the day, I landed in Atlanta. There's no more flights to Seattle that night. The next one leaves at 10 a.m. the next day. Hurricane Hermine, the path puts it over the Atlanta airport at 8
Jesus.
So my options were like to stay in Atlanta and try to take the flight an hour after the hurricane shows up, or I found I could get a new ticket to go home that night, which is what I ended up doing. So the TLDR of all this is left RDU, 11 hours later, landed at RDU.
Jesus.
And then the next day I got a ticket and I went north. I just was like, screw you, hurricane. And I actually got to PAX.
That's a shit day right there.
Worst flying experience of my life, man. It was horrible. It was terrible. But we made it. So, whatever. Shit happens. And it was weather. It wasn't, so.
So how was PAX? I have not talked to anyone that went to PAX. This is I've been in fucking Warcraft world for the past 9 days. So this is the first time I've ever done anything stream related, not World of Warcraft, in about 100 hours worth of streaming. So what the fuck is going on with PAX? Was it a good event?
Zeke did most of the hosting. He saw like all the things I had to offer. What do you think, Zeke?
You're muted.
Muted.
I think his mic's muted, guys.
You're still muted.
He's got to turn on his mic.
And then I fucked her right in the bumhole.
I like that we got a laugh track on the show now. It's great.
Right? No, I know.
We got to keep Lana. It's when we know that, because like we don't know if the jokes are actually landing anywhere. But we got Lana there to confirm. There you go.
Filmed before a live girlfriend. All right. Or a live wife, sorry. Anyway, it was great. The one thing I will say about PAX West this year is it was light on Twitch. Like Twitch people forewent this convention, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like didn't go to this one because it's I think last year was because it was busier last year because they weren't sure how TwitchCon was going to go.
By Twitch people, you mean streamers?
Yeah, streamers, viewers, the whole thing. Because like TwitchCon is like 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
and it's like one or the. It's like I want to go to one or the other, because taking time off of like actual work and stuff is not a viable option in that short a period of time. So they got to kind of pick. And I would pick, and I've told everybody, it's like I would pick TwitchCon over PAX if you're a Twitch person any day,
right?
For sure. But it was fun and everything, but the Twitch presence wasn't as prominent, I would say.
It's interesting that you said that, Zeke. One of the first things I was going to say when it eventually gets to me is like, this is the first con I've ever been to that I didn't just hang out at the Twitch booth for most of it. Mm-hmm. Not only were most of the people I knew like just not there, but you could tell that the people that normally come to these things, like I stopped by Twitch, or I had to move by Twitch a bunch of times because I was doing stuff all over the floor, and almost everyone's signing line was significantly less than normal. Like it was just like so many people are waiting for TwitchCon.
A question with that: do you think it had anything to do with the amount of gigantic YouTubers that were there? Instead, do you think that people were there to go meet those people instead? Because, like,
I don't know.
PewDiePie was there, Jacksepticeye, like some of the biggest fucking YouTubers in the world, if not the PewDiePie, the biggest one was there. And I don't know if they had autograph signings or if they had meet and greets every single day or how that was going down. But I wonder if that's where the majority of people was in those lines for hours and hours.
I can tell you that I didn't see, if there was a YouTube booth, I didn't see it. It certainly wasn't big and featured.
Okay.
And I honestly didn't see any of those guys at all.
I knew they were at a panel. I knew a couple of them were at the Twitch party. But I don't know like in what capacity they were on the show floor, what they were doing there on the show floor, if anything at all. So I was curious like if Twitch gave them a signing or if they had signings elsewhere, how that was going down. But if you didn't see them, then I don't know. Maybe they were just kind of behind closed doors all weekend. What about games that were shown? I heard a lot of people talking about For Honor. Everyone was kind of buzzing about that.
The tournament.
Yeah, how was that?
Part of that Coke can talk about that.
Yeah. So I played in the For Honor tournament. It was me, Tangent Gaming, Gassy Mexican, Lol Renee, Cobalt Streak, Man vs. Game, Fairlight Excalibur, and Ammunition. And it was a forum.
I did hear a little bit about this.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. The only issue is that my buddy Elohim was supposed to be in it, and he unfortunately, due to RL shit, had to call out at the last minute. So they subbed in Fairlight. Now the issue is that 6 of us had barely played the game.
Right.
Tangent Gaming had played about 20 hours. He sort of knew what was going on. Fairlight has played 70.
And when he was playing the alpha at home?
He was playing the hell out of the alpha. He played it so much he was like mastering shit, and like coming up with mini strats for how to, block and dodge, parry, block, side, fake out, So here, most of us were having played the game for like an hour before the tournament. And then Fairlight literally had to play about half as good as he normally would and still was getting like 10-to-1 ratios every round. And at one point, he just had to like stop fighting people. Like they just had to throw around because it was like my team was just getting stomped. But again, like nobody had played the game. And here's the thing. Now to talk about the game a little bit. Surprisingly deep. I was thinking that this is the kind of thing that you could go into and, like chivalry and, oh, these are the base controls. Okay, cool. I'll start playing around. But For Honor is much more technical than I was thinking. It's very rock, paper, scissorsy, except you also have directions with your rock, paper, scissors. It's all about like getting in your enemy's head. So like there's 3 different directions and you can see which one the enemy's holding. So you can kind of get a hint at what they're doing. But like once you kind of start to learn how to play it, you know how to like fake people out before you attack. So you like move your thing around a bunch of times. So your guy's doing this and then you pick one and swing. And like none of us knew how to do that shit at the beginning. And there's also like all sorts of little special moves where you can do like a power block and all of your sides activate. Nobody knew how to do that but Fairlight. There were like rush moves and you could like double tap buttons and press forward to have certain classes charge and do stuff. And it's one of those things where it would have been a lot more fun, to be honest, if Elo had been there, because like then it would have been a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off figuring out what to do. But it became kind of weird when there was just like one dude that knew exactly what to do.
Sure, I mean that's no fun.
Everyone else was like,
yeah, that's no fun at all. What sort of, a lot of people are asking like what sort of customization was there that you saw? Was what could you do differently?
So, well, there's 3 different classes. There's knights, barbarians like Vikings, and samurai. And what's cool is they all play very differently. So, like the barbarian can like pick people up and slam them into walls and stuff. And he also has like slower, large, and big swings. Samurai's really quick and tight, and he can do some different like AOE moves and stuff. And then the knight is kind of the middle ground guy. He's really strong. He's got good reach and stuff. That's really all I know. I think there's even more to it, but again, I played the game for the tournament for about an hour and then about 45 minutes before it. So, but all I can tell you is it's deep. Like I'm looking forward for Honor coming out because I really do want to like dive in.
Lyric was saying that the alpha NDA is being released or lifted in like 2 weeks or something like that. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard of that.
Okay,
no.
I haven't. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't heard that at all. So I was curious if you had heard anything.
You were actually told November.
Okay.
So I think that's like close to the release. Wait, when is it supposed to release? I thought it was around.
No idea whatsoever. I'm.
But
excited
another thing that kind of surprised me is there are. Well, I actually got kind of like told like, do not call them that. There's creeps, but they call them soldiers. Oh. And like there's an NPC.
Oh
present.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. Alpha is the 15th. Okay, cool. But yeah,
streamable though.
That I don't know. The release date is February 2017. Okay, cool.
Okay,
great. Thank you guys. Chat super helpful. But yeah, so there's like when we played, one of the points in the big point in the center would have actual guys fighting. And the way you take the point is by killing all the enemy sides. You don't just stand there, nothing will happen. You have to actually like fight back the front line. So that was pretty cool. I mean, there's some fun things in there that made it a little bit unique.
Well, cool.
Very good. Yeah, I had a good time. Even though I sucked, I still had fun, and I threw people off ledges and stuff, and that was great.
What race? I guess is the best way. What race were you playing again?
I played the samurai a lot.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fun with the samurai because it seemed like if it's 2 people like slowly approaching each other, even if the other person started swinging first, the samurai was so quick that he could like get little hits in first to interrupt him. And there was a couple rounds that I actually had like almost 2-1 kill death ratios because I would just run in and start wailing on them before they had a chance to do anything. And it's so fast that a lot of times it just overwhelms them. They don't know which way to block. They block once, but I'm already hitting another direction, and it's cool.
Is the depth of the game like Samurai is faster, but Vikings have more power and Knights are kind of in between? Would you say that's a fair adjustment? Okay.
Yep,
okay.
That's kind of how it is. And they all kind of have special moves. I will say that, and I agree with Chad on this, the Viking definitely seemed a little bit
stronger,
powerful. Yeah, okay. Not only because he's very strong and has a very long reach, but he could also do charges and stuff. And being able to you can sprint, but it's like a slow sprint, but the charge is pretty quick. And if you hit someone while you're charging, then you can just like slam him into a wall and stun him or throw him off his side. Very versatile. So the Viking definitely seemed a little bit strong. I will say this though, even in the time I was playing, it became pretty obvious pretty quick that this game is going to suffer a little bit from Evolve syndrome, where you're getting pretty much everything right at the beginning. If they release how it is
without upgrades,
it doesn't. There may be a system in place. I got to be careful saying this because I don't know if it's there, but I didn't see any system to reward the player for multiple rounds. I didn't see any like exterior tracking of statistics and stuff. Again, It may be there. It just wasn't in when I played. So we were all kind of talking after the game and we were kind of like, this could be really fun for like 10 to 15 hours of straight play. Like it could be really cool, but we didn't see that carrot on a stick to make it like a 50+ hour game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, cool. If that actually is coming out in alpha next week on the 15th, then I'm sure some of us will be streaming that here on the call.
Oh, okay. Hold on. People are saying there are going to be deep customization systems with statistics and stuff like that. Okay, good. Maybe again, this was just like a
top level
raw demo.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
or base level, I guess. Yeah. Dan, what about you? What'd you come away with at PAX, having played and having seen that you want to mention, talk about?
I was only there for about 4 or 5 hours one day.
Yeah.
Because I was too hooked on WoW. I was playing it the whole time. They had to release it right before PAX, and I'm such a addict.
My favorite part about the reason I didn't go to PAX was primarily because WoW came out, but also because I didn't want to also go there, have a huge event next week with the Roleplay Live show, then fucking have to go to TwitchCon. It's just like too much back to back. I didn't want to have to worry about that stuff. But Tim, the Tap Man, who's kind of a part of our 5-man group in WoW, went. And he was in our like 30-hour stream the first day. And then he left on Thursday, I think, for PAX. And every night about 3 a.m. my time, which was 1 a.m. Pacific time, he would log into World of Warcraft in his hotel room, slightly drunk, and fucking play a little bit. And so I knew that he was fucking addicted when he was logging back in the hotel. And so I figured, like, if you were there, since you're local, how often or how much time you would spend at PAX. But 5 hours is as much as he spent.
For me, like, all these conventions are so much fun when you go to a city you're not used to being in. Like I'm going to go hard for TwitchCon and BlizzCon, but I just didn't want to have another one right before all that. So I'll be going hard with TwitchCon and BlizzCon and be at those partying and stuff. But I just needed a little break, and WoW came out. So
what did you see? Did you just go to dinner? Were you on the show floor? Did you see anything?
Had a few meetings, had some business stuff too, but didn't really get to see much of anything.
Okay, all right. Zeke, you were doing most of the hosting. You were there. You're linking me a ton of stuff. So
no, I meant to link you one thing, and I forgot the linkable for the clickable version. But
gotcha. Did you did the Nautilus Rift on stream?
I did it on stream. There's 3 of us who did it.
What's the timestamp in that video?
I think it's, let's see here. Let's go to.
Oh, I see Rachel wearing it.
Yeah, we all have it on at certain times.
So how I heard it was just pure fucking fart going into that.
Go to 5 minutes 37 seconds in or somewhere around there.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've got you wearing it right now.
You'll see it with me on. I look like Bane.
Yeah, you look like Bane. Did you do the Bane impression also?
You were born. I was born of the stink.
So wait, do you just walk around this game wearing this, and then eventually someone farts on you?
Okay, now listen to this. Okay, let me just preface this. I have been to the dump several times. I've been to the sewage treatment plant.
Yeah.
I've been to Burning Man.
Yeah.
I've been to Gamescom. Like, as far as powerful smells go,
Zeke,
nothing even compares.
Really?
Nothing even compares. This is like they thought, I'm sure they were like smelling different smells and going like, nah, it won't make me gag immediately. This won't make me gag immediately. This, like, once it gets to the point where it like shoots, because it shoots this, like, I don't know if it's air or mist or whatever, but it shoots it right in your nostrils. And you'll see the rift. You'll see the Nautilus Rift like light up. Like, it'll light green when they're doing it. And it was by far the worst smell I've ever smelled in my entire life.
When does it happen in this VOD?
Here's the thing. It is not like funny. It is not a funny thing that happens.
JP, it's going off whenever you see the bridge, the clear area, it'll glow bright green.
It'll go green.
I'm trying to like get reactions, but I don't. How many times did it happen during the stream?
It happened like 5 or 6 times. Here, this one right here. You'll see it like go green eventually.
Were you and Rachel just like, this is the worst?
Dude, like, Maggie couldn't last. She had one spray and she's like, and I was like, oh, let me try it. And I put that shit on.
Oh, it's happening right now. Dude, that looks a bit. So
No. See, it is so bad. It made me want to vomit like immediately. And look, he's gonna fart while fighting and stuff. And it's the worst thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. And I wanted to fucking I want to fucking puke all over that. And you have to, when you play the game, you have to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
That says if you vomit, it's on you, literally on you. Like, you vomit on yourself.
One of the funniest things that I was listening to is Jesse Cox during the co-optional podcast, he said that one of the Ubisoft reps was telling the people working the booth that were using this that before they went out at night, they need to go home and shower because they're just going to smell like this.
Listen, this shit stuck in my fucking like mustache hair and my like, it's stuck there for 3 fucking hours. I walked.
Oh my God.
I was like, get it off of me. No, it's stuck around this area for like 3 fucking hours. It
Jesus.
was horrid. I can't even describe it to you. Like, okay.
So you do not recommend it?
No, I don't. Yes, I do. If you hate somebody, if you absolutely do not like somebody, tell them, oh, it's hilarious. This is not like funny, like, because I've had stink bombs. Like, I roomed with CohhCarnage. He stink bombed the bathroom, and I was like, oh, dude, come on, really?
Yeah.
You know, stink bombs like rotten eggs.
Yeah, they're fucking foul. They're foul.
Right. Like a big shit, or he actually lit a stink bomb in the bathroom?
No, he had like it's
little,
like stink
those little, yeah.
It's a glass thing that you
pop open and smash. Yeah. Kids did that stuff when I was in high school and middle school. And then we'd have to evacuate the fucking school.
Well, and you walk in, and you're like, oh, it's sulfur, rotten egg smell. Oh, gross. This is like not funny.
So what would you like?
I was not having a good time up there
without getting too grotesque. Like, what would you liken the smell to?
It's like a tire fire mixed with diarrhea mixed with vomit.
Jeez. Okay.
And sadness.
Yes, much sadness.
That's foul. That's foul. I also love that.
Don't do it, guys.
I love that the 2 Ubisoft people are just very like 2 jovial women, just like, we're here to show off the game. I'm so excited. That just makes me laugh so much harder.
Well, and if I'd have known, because we do segments like before this time before the show started, we went through all 3 days and said, I want this, I want to do this, I like this, stuff like that. And all of us were fighting over the Ubisoft thing. And we're like, can we cram 5 people into this segment? Okay. So they did. If I had known, I would have said, hey, it's all yours. Yeah. But I couldn't. And you know why I couldn't?
Because you had to do it.
You fuckers.
Yeah.
Because you demanded it.
We tasked you. You did research for the show.
Yep.
You did a good job. I'm proud of you.
That's why I did that.
Thanks, Zeke.
It sounds awful, though. It sounds 100%.
I got out of it, man.
The worst thing in the world.
Happy.
Oh, were you going to go play the game or something?
No, well, for me, I did. It was actually really cool. This PAX for me was like the most work I've ever done. In fact, I skipped the Twitch party. I went to bed by like 9 o'clock every night. I didn't drink a single beer at PAX. First time ever. But it's because I was doing like so much other stuff. And one of the big things I was doing was every day at the end of the con, me, Miss Harvey, a couple of VR specialists, and a writer from PC Gamer would do the Intel daily wrap up where we talk about everything we saw that day. And we all did like B-roll and all sorts of stuff. And the first day, the day I didn't make it out, the entire panel did the Nautilus. So they like sat all 4 of them up. And then the guy just sat there like, just like completely destroying them. And what's hilarious is one of the guys was wearing glasses, and they put the Nautilus on, but it wouldn't fit right, so they had to kind of turn it. And apparently what happened is there's supposed to be 2 jets that turn into mist. But what happened with him is not only did it go right up his nose, like into his nose, but some of it went around it and fogged up the inside of his glasses. So not only did he start like nearly dry heaving, but the next day, it was still in his nostrils. He said he couldn't eat breakfast. It was like, oh. So
that sounds like the worst, dude. I thought you were gonna say it went in his mouth. I'm glad it was. Just...
No. It was like bent. So it was like into his head.
My God.
Yeah.
That sounds like the worst thing ever. I'm so glad.
Needless to say, I got out of that, and I am super happy for that.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't fucking go to PAX to fucking use that stupid contraption then. Jesus.
Yeah, I can't even imagine like if it was like, because it was like spraying on my lip. It was like psst, like a cat, like you were cheesing, like it was psst, like right on my face. Like it was like tilted up and it goes like straight up your nose holes. Oh my God.
Were you able to even pay attention to South Park? Does South Park look good, Zeke?
It looks fantastic. Like while I was not in the Nautilus, like I was kind of watching it. I mean, it's fucking awesome. The writing is there. The new gameplay looks fucking fantastic. Like it really looks good for the 5 minutes that I could pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be my game of the year, I'm sure.
Good. That comes out in December, right? That's
December 6th.
Yeah, one of the final releases of the year. Nice.
So you can give it to your kids for Christmas.
There you go. There you go. Zeke, what else did you see besides smell?
No, I gotta spend a pretty cool hour with Tyrone from Binding of Isaac, Tyrone Rodriguez.
What's he working on these days?
A lot of fun. Like the new shit that's coming out for Binding of Isaac. I mean, it is kind of like a swan song for Binding of Isaac because it's like, what is the very last thing we can do? Well, let's hand over everything to the people and let them do whatever. So they're gonna do like this mod thing where you can customize anything.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we were playing like you can customize your levels, basically Mario Maker for Binding of Isaac.
Whoa!
So you can customize your own levels and weapons and all this kind of shit. They're handing over all the tools to the players and stuff, and they showed off a little bit of it. Like they even put some people, like they modded some people in the game. Like Cobalt Shriek was in the game, was a boss in the game. Bacon Donut was a boss. I can't remember who else was. But
Manverse Game was the playable character, wasn't he?
What's that?
Was Manverse Game in there in some degree?
No, they knew he was going to host, so they put him as Isaac in the game.
That's awesome, though. Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. That was a lot of fun to hang out with him. And Tyrone's, he's a pretty cool guy to hang out with, to do games with. He's loose and, he'll play with you. Cool. Osiris, no, this is a game that really blew me away, and I want to get my hands on it. It's a 2-man team. The game is called Osiris New Dawn, and it's from a guy who left AAA, left Activision and shit to come over and he wanted to make his own game. He'd been working on it for 5 years. And it looks fantastic. It's a space survival, base building kind of a thing. It looks gritty and like this. Yeah, is this it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is it. And the rovers have it's like they're creatures. Like they have their joints and stuff where they're rolling over stuff. And the creatures that you fight look really, really cool as well. They have fucking sandworms in it, like doom sound, huge sandworms.
It's like a very advanced Rust on an alien planet it's got so many new tricks and stuff. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
it's cool. Phenomenal.
And that's what they said. They said it's you can, and I was like, what? With No Man's Sky coming out, and this is before the interview. I was like, with No Man's Sky being this thing, what he's like, yeah, dude. If you want to say it's what No Man's Sky should be, go right ahead. I'll let you say it. But I won't say it.
Yeah, no, that'll get you, and that'll get the developers in some shit as well.
Right.
It's so funny that No Man's Sky, there's so many developers that are just shitting on No Man's Sky as developers in their PR things. That's now a talking point. It's like, no, we're not No Man's Sky, or no, we're not going to turn into No Man's Sky. I fucking think that's hilarious that's become a huge PR term for a lot of these indie devs. But
I love interviewing 2-man, 3-man teams because they're so super passionate about their shit.
Oh yeah.
They're just oh my God, you haven't even seen this part yet. Let me get to this. It's we got 15 minutes, bro. Hurry up.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference when you're a PR person talking about a product which you rep and being a PR or a spokesperson for a game that you made. You have so much more pride in something that you created yourself.
Oh yeah. No. And I like with Ubisoft, you're not dealing with the people who are actually making the game. You're dealing with their PR team.
Right. Right.
Like this, you're dealing with the guy who's yes, I made sure that was gray and not green because I wanted it to look this way and stuff like that. You're the specific ins and out. Right. And he's been working for 5 years. I thought that was really cool. Let's see. You got to see a little more Shadow Warrior 2.
Oh, that game looks so good.
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking badass. Let's see. Battle Chef Brigade, which is kind of a silly.
I heard about that
Iron Chef game. It's a silly indie Iron Chef game.
That's the Adult Swim game, right? Or published by Adult Swim. Yeah, I heard that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You got to go out, kill the creatures.
What's the name of it? So I can show some footage. Battle
Chef Brigade.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you kill the creatures to get the ingredients for your stew, and then you play this once you're cooking it, you play this Tetris game to make sure it comes off right.
Yeah. Is this what the graphics look like?
Yeah, it's very anime.
As it should be, I assume. As it should. Oh, okay.
Sure.
That looks cool.
Well, this isn't the actual gameplay.
Oh, that's not? Are you?
I don't.
There was UI elements and stuff there.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, they're running around and shit.
Okay. Oh, this is it. Yeah. Okay.
That looks kind of
You're
fun.
killing the things to go get you get the meat from the things you kill to cook it up.
I actually really like that art style. That looks cool.
This like Tetris-y, like gems game to like make sure it cooks right and stuff like that. And then you serve it to the judges, and the judges are like, "Oh, this is great. Oh, can you use more spice?" And you're facing off against another battle chef, I guess. It's cool. Goofy. It looks fun. What else? Oh, the other game that looked pretty cool, and I hope comes off as cool as it looks. And I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of Atlas Reactor by Trion.
Yes. Yeah. We talked about it on the show a lot.
The turn-based arena.
The XCOM thing, yeah. XCOM turn-based at MOBA, yeah.
Yep. I think that's going to be really fun and really cool, especially for guys like me who don't have like super like quick reaction time, like APM or CPM or whatever, clicks per minute, action per minute.
Yeah.
I can't do a lot of those. So like having a 20-second time limit where I can actually go, okay, pick my strategies and stuff with my team. Yeah. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. The graphics look really cool. Yeah, that was, I saw it at Gamescom. I think I might have talked about it once before.
Yep.
But that was like the main things, like the Ubisoft thing and the rest of the things I talked about. Day 3 was pretty light.
What, like on the show floor, was there anything? I know Ark had a fucking T-Rex, and we're going to talk about them a little bit in the news because they put out DLC for a game that's still in early access, which has kind of got a lot of people upset.
I saw the dinosaur. The dinosaur was pretty fucking stellar.
Yeah, it was a nice dinosaur.
Dude, it was fucking awesome. It was like the size of a real dinosaur.
It was big. It was real big.
Was it better or worse than Evolve's Evolve had like a crazy monster a couple of years back, didn't they? I think that like toured all the packs.
Yes, it was bigger. It was much bigger.
And
wow. 2 dinosaurs actually. They had a giant T-Rex thing that you could walk onto the back of, and then they had like this dragon creature that was like crouching down, like it was about to pounce or attack on something, and you could get on that one too. Pretty nuts.
I was so surprised to hear that because that stuff's not cheap. But then I like looked into like how big is Ark? Like how big is this game that I haven't played since it came out? That game's been on the top of Steam's top selling list for like months. Like it's massive. There is a fuck ton of people playing that game, and I had no idea that it was that big whatsoever.
Which is why the audience is so frustrated right now about that thing you said earlier.
Yeah. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the news. But what else was there on like show floor? Did you guys see anything worth talking about?
Okay, ready? All right. So Dishonored 2. Did a really cool thing. And what they did was they set up they like basically got half of a stall and they set up these big walls and they decorated the inside like you were walking through a Dishonored room, like a set. It was all Victorian and crazy, and there were pictures and art and furniture and stuff. And then in the back, they had a giant life-size sculpture of one of the new assassin robots with the floating limbs and the crazy cylindrical noses and like the limbs that don't actually connect, but they're all like, and they have those giant 4 blades and stuff. Oh man, that was cool. That was awesome.
Damn. And, did they have gameplay there? Could you touch the game?
No. What they actually did something really cool. I met the community managers of Dishonored 2. They were freaking awesome. And they unfortunately had this like really cool party where they rented these boats, and they apparently decked the boats out like different areas of Dishonored or something.
Holy shit.
And I was super pissed because I got on the list to go to this party, but then I wasn't able to make it because it was a little bit too late and I had some other shit come up. But the people that went to it said it was awesome.
Damn.
And they said there was some new stuff there too, which made
that's 2K or no, that's Bethesda, right? Bethesda is the publisher for that.
Bethesda. Yep.
And 2K is, I always get 2K is not the same publisher as ZeniMax is not 2K, right?
ZeniMax owns Bethesda.
Who owns 2K?
Your mom.
It's not ZeniMax?
Man, she owns a lot of shit.
She does. Yeah.
No, I'm not sure who owns 2K.
Take-Two owns 2K.
Oh, yeah, Take-Two. That's right. Because I remember Mafia 3 or whatever the new Mafia game is did something similar where they had like I think it was like the Louisiana thing, a street with like a jazz band and stuff at maybe E3 is where I saw that was talked about.
Yeah, so, E3.
Yeah. So that's why I was wondering if that was a repurposed set from Mafia, but if they're different publishers, then probably not. Anything else on the show floor? Dawn
of War 3. They had like a full-size Space Marine. That was pretty awesome. And apparently at some point like a fully cosplayed commissar came up and was like hanging out next to it, and that was like a huge photo op because it looked like perfect with them with each other.
I want to talk about Dawn of War 3 because you played it, and I want to get your thoughts.
Streamed it for an hour.
Did you see the fucking Reinhardt cosplay that was apparently walking around?
Yes, I saw that guy walking around.
Oh my! How big? Like it was apparently a girl that was inside of it, from what I saw, at least on the image. I didn't look too closely at it, but that was some fucking impressive cosplay.
And it was big. It was accurate too, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some very impressive cosplays there. Like
there was a Genji too that Razor was taking photos of.
Because there were only there like the first day, the second and third day, or for me the second and third day. So the third and fourth day, a lot of cosplayers seemed to leave. But on the day I was there, the first day I was there, which was the second day, there was so many really good cosplays. It was pretty nuts. There was an entire Stardew Valley cosplay. What? Like this giant group did every character in Stardew Valley, and they all had a little sign that had one of the various little pixel emotes that would pop up, and they were all like walking around. It was ridiculous, man. Yeah, there it is.
God, that thing is so fucking rad, dude. That's nuts, that's like 1-to-1 of that armor in the game. A lot
they were walking all slow and lumbering. It was good. It was really
good. The person doesn't have the hammer. I wish they had the fucking giant hammer somehow, but that hammer's probably the size of that suit.
Her hands are probably like a foot up from the bottom.
So there's a photo on their Facebook of either the creator or someone holding it. Yeah, right here. That's the actual hand on a person.
Wow.
To put that in
so
comparison.
Actually, from the looks of it, the hand is like at the bottom of the palm.
Yeah, her hand is like right here, probably.
Yeah.
Or like right there.
That was the girl wearing the suit?
I don't know. Maybe so. Apparently it's called the Egg Sisters cosplay is the people that made that, but it's fucking incredible. That is an insane cosplay, dude.
That's ridiculous, man. The thing about it that was wild is it didn't, like with a lot of cosplays like that, they jiggle, like they take one step and everything like flimsily jiggles around. Hers didn't do that.
Damn.
It was pretty wild. Like it looked solid. Yeah. So yeah, it was very impressive.
That's crazy. Let's talk about Dawn of War because you streamed it. I watched Jeff stream it a little bit. People seemed pretty positive about it. What were your thoughts?
Dude, I played mission 14, and I have to say, like, I was very pleased with the game. They made the very cool decision to bring back base building. So we saw that leave in Dawn of War 2, but it came back in Dawn of War 3. I played with the community manager. She was fantastic, answering questions the whole time. It's kind of a mix of Dawn of War 1 and 2, but they've added a bunch of new things. Like if you look in the bottom left there, you can see the drop pods. You can actually fill those with any units you want and then drop them whenever you want. There's giant orbital lasers that the second they fire, they become a unit you can move around the map. So you can drop a giant laser Independence Day style and then actually like move it around as enemies try to run from it. There's named units which can be summoned back. That was a lot of fun. A lot of variety in the unit types. Like those two units right there are both artillery. They have no normal fire. They only have abilities. And there was a lot of kind of cool little stuff like that. Most of the abilities or most of the units have abilities that are like very situational, but not really spammy. So you can. Oh, and if you look there in the top left, that's the giant named mech unit, and that thing is amazing.
Yeah, I saw Jeff messing around with that. That's not the Titan, but it's
when it walks around.
It's the thing awesome. Smaller than a Titan. I don't want to say the wrong name because the fucking Warhammer nerds will come after me.
Yeah.
But that was oddly enough. Did you get a lot of that when you were streaming? Did you get any of the Warhammer purist in chat correcting or saying like, "Oh my god, that's this thing. That's fucking so." Like, did you get a lot of that?
It was actually the opposite. There were a lot of people in chat that were saying like, oh, that's this thing and that's this thing and oh, that's this specific event from this clan that happened to this battle, and you could see the award on his shoulder and stuff like that. So
that's good.
It was it was overall, it was really cool. And it was like I played the mission I think for an hour. I ended up beating it. It was mission 14 I think. And I was engaged the entire time. Like by the end of it, I was totally sold. Like we're doing a Dawn of War franchise playthrough when it comes out, the whole 9 yards.
I feel like of all the fandoms that exist, well, not all of them, but as one of the fandoms that exist, the Warhammer fandom is probably going to be the group of people that you don't want to piss off, and you have to nail every like. I saw Jeff say that big thing was a Titan, and then he corrected himself almost immediately and said like, "Oh, it's an Imperial Knight. I'm so sorry. Like I didn't mean to say that wrong." Or whatever. I was like, yeah, that sounds okay. Like if I played this thing, I just named them all completely wrong things.
Jeff is kind of known for his warhammering.
Right. So
if there's one person that needs to nail that stuff.
Sure. I feel like I want to, if I do end up playing this on stream, I just want to name everything like the medium-sized robots, and that's kind of the smaller robot. Just to tilt everyone a little bit.
Big bot.
There's a lot going on in the UI. Is there anything that you're covering up here, or is that empty space? Do you know?
No. I think that was about it. There was a lot going on in the UI, but it was all like needed. I was using every element on the screen at that point.
Okay.
Hotkeys worked just as you planned. The attack move is in there. With very, very. She asked me straight up. She's like, "Do you want to play the game before you stream it? Do you want to kind of like feel it out?" And I was like, no, I don't. I want to just dive right in.
Jump in. It's always best.
And I was at home in 5 minutes. Like as a Dawn of War 1 and 2 player, I pretty much got the flow within just a few minutes and just went ham. And just played it for an hour straight. And actually, I don't know how long the broadcast was. I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes. Or something.
Hour and 24. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I was having fun the whole time.
Looks cool. I like the look of that for sure. I'll probably check that out. I have a hard time getting into RTSs, but I remember playing through like Dawn of War 2 and all the expansions, and the story stuff was cool enough mission to mission that I was hooked into it. So,
couple quick things for those asking. This is Dawn of War 3. This is not out yet. It's coming out, and there are 3 playable races: Orc, Eldar, and Space Marines.
Now,
I kept hounding those guys. I've done segments with those guys before. I kept hounding them like, "Why no chaos? We need chaos. Where the fuck is chaos?"
That question actually came up a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And the main reason they said is they're wanting to do the ones they've chosen really, really well. Because apparently they're going to have very different gameplay styles. Like the drop pods are all Space Marine. That's like a Space Marine staple. If you build buildings and stuff, it's pretty cool. They actually like burrow a giant hole, and then a giant drop pod drops into the hole
Just
and then
shows up.
comes out as the building.
That's sick.
So they're really kind of trying to tailor each race to be a unique kind of experience. And they said that they rather would have done that than try to like generalize a whole bunch of different stuff. They did kind of hint that stuff may come later, but it's only going to release with 3 from what I understand.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else from PAX that you guys touched on before we jump into
Final
a break?
Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about. So before we jump into this, one thing that I did do that wasn't World of Warcraft, I fucking watched Kingsglaive, the Final Fantasy movie. And oh my God, what a giant pile of shit that movie is.
Really?
But
I was really hoping you'd like it, actually.
But I am glad to have watched it because it gave me a lot of backstory for the game. It basically leads right to the start of the game, like the like 3 days prior to the game, or at least what we've seen of. There's a lot of rumors going around that I don't want to say on the podcast because they're actual straight up spoilers about where the game is story-wise, but that movie is so fucking bad as a movie. Like, there's so many fucking things wrong. There, in the first 20 minutes, there are at least 15 fade to blacks for no reason. They'll just like introduce a character, then it just like fades to black. And then you go to you're in a new world, you have no idea what time it is, and then it just fades to black. And now you're in a fucking, like 2 years later, and it fucking just fades to black. Then they introduce a new character, and his name is Nick, so then it fades to black. And then he introduces a new character, and then it fades to black. And I'm sitting there at like 4 a.m. in the morning like, do you not know what a fucking transition is? Like, fuck. I was getting so upset when I was watching it. But
at least they weren't star wipes.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Like, fucking Christ, man. I was getting so triggered by the transitions and that shit. And then towards the end, if you've seen Advent Children, they go full on Advent Children, and like the fight scenes are really fucking cool. And that's one takeaway, is that the action sequences were really good, and the CG is probably the best CG I've ever seen. There was moments where they would do like a large shot and characters weren't super up close, and even some that were up close. I was like, that looks like fucking a real life. That looks like a photo. Like, it looks super, super good.
So just to be clear, Kingsglaive is the lore setup for Final Fantasy 15?
Kingsglaive is the lore setup that doesn't have to do with Like, it has to do with Noctis's dad and the two, the Lucis and, oh God, I forgot the enemies. Those two groups, like, warring, and why they're warring a little bit. And kind of where the world's at when Noctis is meeting his fucking wife, or the girl that he's gonna marry, or whatever, the princess.
Cool. Okay. See, everything you're saying is making a lot of sense, because I was a little lost.
Like, it's worth a watch only to just see cool fights, because the fucking fighting is really fucking cool, and it makes me excited for the game, because there's moments where, as you played in the game, you know how he throws his sword, he blinks to it.
Yes.
So that's what Nix, the main character who's voiced by Aaron Paul, he does that nonstop, and he'll just throw it, and he does like crazy shit where he'll jump off a building and there's this fucking airship. He'll throw it at the airship and throw it in the middle of the air, grab it, throw it again, grab it, and then throw it on the airship and like get onto the airship with it. I'm like, all right, that's pretty fucking badass. Like,
that sounds pretty badass.
I'm into that, especially if we can do that type of stuff in the game. And then at one point, this is a semi-spoiler, at one point fucking Ultros shows up. And they don't explain it at all. They're on an
airship. Is that the movie you tweeted about?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about World of Warcraft. Okay.
No. Ultros shows up. They're on an airship, and all of a sudden, this fucking giant tentacle comes around the corner, grabs someone. No one says, "Why is there a giant tentacle on a fucking airship?" No one's like, "Why is this octopus attacking the airship?" They're just like, "Oh God, we have to run." They never mention a name. They never say why this fucking giant tentacle Ultros monster is on this. He's just there, and then he's not. No mention of what's going on at all. And I was so confused. Like, if you've never seen or played Final Fantasy VI, if you saw that, you probably were just like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, who is this guy? Why does he exist? There's a lot of stuff like that. If you didn't watch it, they mention like chocobos or kokobos, and they say Gil once or twice, and you're like, well, that was kind of like a forced reference that they just made right there to try to get Final Fantasy fans inside. But whatever. I'm glad that I watched it. It was just a fucking abysmal movie as a movie. But what about the game? Because you played it.
Okay. So here was the deal. I sat down with the game. I decided that, I knew I was going to play Final Fantasy 15, but I was not quite sold on the mechanics. I was a little bit, worried. I was wondering if it was going to be like Star Ocean-y, where it looks kind of cool, but then you dive into it and it's not quite as what you thought it was. But then again, Star Ocean had its own other set of issues. But basically what happened was it was an hour-long demo. Starts right at the beginning of the game. And I played it for 20 minutes. And at the 21-minute mark, I kind of took a deep breath. And I said, I'm sold.
Okay.
I was like, at that point, I put the controller down. I flagged the PR guy over, and I was like, who do I talk to about early access? Because I don't want to see anymore. Like, I'm sold on this game. This is awesome. Let's do it. So to talk about the game, I need to be as least spoilery as possible because a lot happens at the beginning. But the short answer is, it's very fun, very action combat. So you're running around. You can just immediately attack anything you see. There's no break between exploration and combat, which I loved.
It just
so you're
jumps
running
in.
Around, you see an enemy, you can hit Y to throw your sword at it and engage combat. Boom, you're in combat mode. You do your whole fight thing, which was really engaging. There's like a block mechanic, attack mechanics. There's different skills you can use. You can use different weapon types. You have 4 different weapon types. Each should have completely different attacks and stuff. And then the second combat ends, you're back in exploration mode. And I love that about it. It also, which is weird because I thought that the action-y combat was going to kind of not be very Final Fantasy for me.
Yeah.
But I ended up really.
And that's I think the hardest sell is it's kind of this in between of like it's not turn-based, but it's not quite Kingdom Hearts, and I don't know how like Final Fantasy diehards are going to feel about that. If they're going to be
I can tell you that some people aren't going to like it.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now. But for me, as someone who really likes being able to kind of play a game at your own pace and not have to really like wait for, transition screens and stuff like that, I really enjoyed it. Okay. So I had a good time with it. I also had a chance to really sit down and look through the menus. The skill trees looked pretty damn big. Everyone has different weapon types. All the 4 characters have a unique skill, which can rank up. Like
I heard that
stuff like that. One of them has photography.
Yeah, that's what I was about. But Portios, is that his name?
Yeah,
has photography skill, and they don't explain why he could take photos in the game.
He's got a camera.
He just could take photos in the middle of a fight. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering if you found that or touched on that at all.
But yeah,
hold on. Does he like blackmail them or something? He's like, I got a very suggestive position here. Maybe I don't tell anybody, or maybe I do.
Yeah.
Well, also, I actually asked. Are you ready for this? I actually asked at one point, "Am I playing this on PC?" And funny enough, the guy just kind of smiled. He didn't actually answer. But the reason I asked was because like it looked gorgeous.
Did it run well?
During the cutscenes, which you could tell were like one of those like half in-game engines, half polished kind of thing. Like it exactly like you just said. Like I was looking at these faces like, holy shit. No frame rate issues when I played. None. I was standing kind of far back, so I didn't know if it was running at 60, but it certainly didn't look like it was running at 30. Like it was pretty. And when you got into combat and things really started picking up and everything's moving really fast, there was zero slowdown.
Wow.
So it was like, I don't know if
that's the first thing. Demo, yeah, that's the first person I've ever seen.
This is totally playable. Like this is fine for me. So yeah, I was digging it, man.
Wow.
Again, anything I would say beyond this is going to start entering spoiler territory. But all I have to say is if you're a Final Fantasy fan and you can deal with a little bit of action and combat, it's very Final Fantasy. The characters are super Final Fantasy. In fact, one of the first characters you meet is like the worst interpretation of a Southern American. Hey, y'all varmints, how y'all doing today?
Is that Sid? You met Sid, right?
No. Well,
later on, yeah. Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So
a lot of that stuff was in the kind of the first thing that we saw months back when they released that quick 20-minute demo that they showed. But yeah.
So that was interesting. And of course they all have their traditional emo hairstyles, with the little flare and
that's the weird thing.
That's normal. So
that's the weird thing is in the movie, like everyone's got like these badass fucking haircuts that are like soldier style haircuts. Everyone looks really cool. And then you see Noctis, and he's got like this fucking like crazy spiky, and you're just like, you're not in this world. Fucking no one else looks like you. Why do you exist? That's like what I had a huge issue with in the movie is that everyone looked fucking badass, and then there's dumb fuck Noctis with like the spiked up hair that looks like a crazy fucking wig that looks like Blanca from Street Fighter. But yeah, whatever. I'm still hyped for that game.
I'm super hyped, dude.
Every fiber in my body is hoping that game is not fucking dog shit, but I'm hearing many good things as of late. So
did you play the demo that came out last year?
Yeah, I played both demos. The first one where you could walk around the world was good. The Carbuncle demo that came out was that E3 where you could run around and stuff. I think that's when that was. That was kind of whatever.
Yeah, they were just showing off graphics mostly.
Yeah. But if it's running better, like I was just saying, then that's great. And if it was a fucking PC and they're like for some reason holding that announcement, then
someone
crazy.
said something in chat that brought up an interesting idea. It may have been on a Pro.
So that's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, let me make this very clear. He did not say it was on PC. I was just like, I was like, as a joke, I was like, is this on PC? And he was just kind of like, and then like walked away. So I was doing a double thing.
That game comes out on the 29th of November. The pros come out at the beginning of November.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if there's any correlation.
That would be fucking incredible if you were playing that on a pro. Like, how many machines do they have there? Or like kiosks set up?
A lot. There was probably 20 or 20.
Was it open to the public?
What was happening is there would be a line that would start at the beginning of the con, and people would like line up around the entire thing to get like a time and a ticket, and then they'd come back later, and then they'd shut it down. Basically, if you got there about an hour late, you were not playing that day.
Did you see? You didn't see a console or anything, right? It was boxed in.
No, there was no console. I was using a controller.
I wonder if that was a fucking pro then. I bet you it was.
I remember the controller. I think it was a PlayStation controller.
Just a normal TV. It wasn't like a 4K TV.
Yeah, it was like a monitor.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah, it was like a monitor.
Crazy. I hope that was a pro, and I hope the game runs as well as you just said on a pro, because then I'm fucking even more excited. Because
tell me this: is Final Fantasy 15 coming out for the PC?
Nope, it has not been announced that it is.
Not been confirmed yet.
Okay.
Yeah. We were hoping when they did their like 15 things of Final Fantasy or whatever the fuck that was, when they did their big event, that one of those things was like a PC release, and then afterwards GameStop had a advertising thing that had a PC logo on it, and then they said that it wasn't coming out on PC, or they had no plans at this point in time for a PC release is what it was. So
okay.
I don't know. I hope it is. I think everyone else does as well, because you want to run that game at the highest resolution in the world with the best fucking graphics and make it look as good as possible. Because Final Fantasies have always been about like amazing cutscenes and like dumb fucking almost anime style of bullshittery occurring. And I hope that we can see like the best bullshittery graphic.
Yeah. You only get one first playthrough of a game like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great as possible.
Good point.
100%. Yeah. Agreed. Anything else on the show floor for the three of you guys before we jump into a bring?
I'm kind of curious, like, Dan, you were there 5 hours. What did you do?
I walked into a booth that did an appearance in signing, walked to another booth that did an appearance in signing, but didn't see any games. I just was boom, 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 and then I had to leave. Yeah,
He had to get back on that WoW grind, man. WoW's a demanding. It's more demanding than a girlfriend. All right.
It's funny because it sounds weird, but then I remember like you live in Seattle, so it's like totally not a big deal, you know.
It's more demanding than a girlfriend because you want to do WoW things.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. Can confirm. Let's take a break. We'll come back and have me and Dan splooge about fucking WoW for 30 or 40 minutes and see what else we could talk about. Because we got some news. We got the ARC news.
We'll talk about Hero Song.
Yeah, we'll talk about Hero Song. There was some other news, I think, that came out today besides the PS stuff, as well as the past 2 weeks. We haven't done a show in 2 weeks. So let's take our break. We'll come back and talk about World of Warcraft Legion because I've put over 100 hours into it. It's only been out a week. And my left eye is twitching, and I think that's because of lack of sleep. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back.
Or the WoW addiction.
Or the WoW addiction. I haven't played today, so it might be time. We'll be right back, guys. More drop frames coming up after this. We'll see you then.